Good evening. It is Wednesday, July 10th, 2024, and welcome to the Town of Carmel Town Board. Tonight is a voting meeting. We have 9 resolutions, followed by a work session of 5 resolutions. I call this meeting to order, and I ask our town clerk, Alice Daly, to please do a roll call vote.
Councilman Kearns?
Present.
Councilwoman McDonough? Here. Councilman Lombardi?
Here.
Supervisor Cazzari?
Here. Councilman Kearns has some guests he's introduced. Everyone please rise and face the flag.
So with us tonight, we have students from the Building Bridges program. About a month ago, my wife and I attended a art show comprised of students from the Carmel, Mahopac, and Brewster area. Tonight, I invited the students from Carmel and Mahopac to come here to lead us in the pledge. When we were there, it was the last night of their show, and with the help of Naomi, we organized for them to present their artwork here at Town Hall for about a week. So we asked them to come tonight to join us for the meeting. They're going to come up and lead us in the pledge tonight. So if you guys want to come up.
Up to the microphone.
Oh, I think they come up here.
Whenever you're ready. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And can we take a moment of silence for all our men and women overseas defending our freedom, and the men in uniform protecting us every day? Thank you. And then real quick, I'm just going to have, she's going to speak a little bit about the program, and then we have some certificates to present to the children on behalf of the town of Carmel. So go ahead, go ahead.
Hello, everybody. I'm Janine Cunningham. I'm the director of the Putnam County Youth Bureau.
Microphone.
Oh, sorry. Trying to use my gym voice. I guess it didn't work. Hello. So Janine Cunningham, director of the Putnam County Youth Bureau. Just want to say thank you to the town of Carmel for putting the pictures up and all the artwork of all the students that are in our program. Naomi is the coordinator of our program, so I'm just going to bring her up. She's just going to explain a little bit about what the Building Bridges program is, and we hope to get some new students involved in the Youth Bureau program. So thank you again for having us. Go ahead, Naomi.
Hi, how is everybody tonight? The art program that we have put on is called Building Bridges. The main reason for the name is because we're bridging the gap between different types of kids and different personalities and all that kind of stuff. So they're able to express themselves through art, and half the classes are social emotional projects, and then the other half are art history classes. So it gives the kids an opportunity to learn about artists from the past as well as express themselves. So we have some great artists here with us today, and it's a really great program. So if you have anybody, the mini Building Bridges is from ages 6 to 9, and the bigger Building Bridges program is from 10 to 14. So we're at the Youth Bureau. If you need any information, just let us know. And thank you for having us.
Again, my wife and I went to the art show, and we were blown away by the art. It was unbelievable, especially I can only draw a stick figure, so it blew me way out of the water. So thank you guys for everything you guys do for the students, and if you guys want to join me, and let's go some photos. Sophia. Allison. Derek. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. These kids had they made like a portrait with like coffee beans. Dude, unbelievable. You know how excited those kids are gonna be now?
So cute.
It's awesome. Yeah, don't have corrected me.
So starting off, can somebody make a motion to accept the minutes from
So
the June
moved.
5th and 12th meeting?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Great. The first resolution is accepting a proposal for software management, town hall fuel dispensing system. Councilman Lombardi, could you read that for us?
Resolved that the Town Board of Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., hereby authorizes the acceptance of proposal of R.M. Dalrymple Company, Saratoga, New York, for provision and installation of a fuel management system for the Town of Carmel Hall fuel dispensing facilities at a cost not to exceed $21,773.71 in accordance with the proposal dated June 12, 2024, and be it further resolved, Town Supervisor Michael Cazzari is hereby authorized to execute any extension or amendment, as well as any necessary documentation required in connection therewith. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Second by Kearns. Can we get a roll call, please?
Councilman Kearns?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Cazzari?
Yes. The second resolution is making an appointment to the Environmental Conservation Board. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby reappoints Edward Barnett to the Town of Carmel Environmental Conservation Board commencing June 14, 2024, and concluding June 13, 2026. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Can we get a roll call on that too, please, Alice?
Councilman Kearns?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Yes.
Supervisor Cazzari?
Yes. Congratulations, Ed. Thank you for your service, sir. Our third resolution is authorizing entry into a contract for purchase of real property. Councilwoman McDonough, could you read that one?
Yes. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the entry into a contract of sale for the purchase of real property located at 179 East Lake Boulevard, Mahopac, New York, designated as Town of Carmel Tax Map Section 76.22, Block 1, Lots 7, 55, and 56, from the Mahopac Central School District for a purchase price not to exceed $1,211,000. Said contract to be in form and content as on file in the office of the Town Supervisor. And be further resolved, the Town Supervisor, Michael Cazzari, is hereby authorized to execute said contract of sale and any and all other documentation to effectuate and consummate the purchase and title transfer of said real property to the Town of Carmel. And be further resolved, the Town Comptroller, Miriam Maxwell, is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget transfers or modifications required to fund the cost of this authorization. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Second by Kearns. Can we have a roll call, please?
Councilman Kearns?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Cazzari?
Yes. Number 4 is authorizing request for contract proposals, lead service line inventory. Councilman Kearns, could you read that?
Whereas the New York State Department of Health has mandated that localities within the state of New York conduct random sampling of water service lines as part of the compiling of a lead service line inventory, and whereas the regulatory mandates imposed by the New York State Department of Health require that such the investigation and preparation of said inventory apply to both private and publicly owned service lines, and whereas such mandates were imposed by the New York State Department of Health requiring that such inventory, including preliminary investigation, field work to physically expose over 200 service lines and compile the final inventory for submission by October of 2024, now therefore be it resolved that in light of the emergency that exists with respect to the imminent deadline for regulatory compliance, the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes J. Robert Fulchetti and Associates, LLC, to engage in the solicitation of proposals from qualified contractors for the fieldwork and exposure of the referenced water service lines. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by McDonough. Can we have a roll call, please?
Councilman Kearns?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Cazzari?
Yes. Number 5, resolution accepting proposal for IT services. Councilman Lombardi, could you read that?
Sure. Resolved, the Town Board of Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the acceptance of the proposal of NACA Technologies, Central Islip, New York, for the provision of managed IT infrastructure services, support, and administration for a period of 12 months at an estimated monthly cost of $77.25 per station, in accordance with the proposal on file in the Office of the Town Supervisor. And be it further resolved, the Town Supervisor, Michael Cazzari, is hereby authorized to execute any and all necessary contract documentations to effect acceptance of this proposal under the terms authorized herein upon presentation of insurance certificates in form acceptable to Town Council. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by McDonough. A roll call, please.
Councilman Kearns?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Cazzari?
Yes. Our next resolution is accepting proposal, Town of Carmel Police Department. Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, upon the recommendation of Town of Carmel Police Lieutenant Neil Brown, hereby accepts the proposal of DAS Fire and Security, Hopewell Junction, New York, for the installation of access control systems on 4 doors within the Town of Carmel Police Department at a cost not to exceed $24,620 in accordance with the proposal dated May 20, 2024, and be it further resolved that upon presentation of insurance certificates in the form acceptable to town attorney, the referenced work may commence, and be it further resolved that Town Comptroller Mary Ann Maxwell is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget revisions to effect the repairs authorized herein. I offer this as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Could we get a roll call on that one?
Councilman Kearns?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Cazzari?
Yes. Which law would this one be?
4.
4.
4?
Thank you.
Okay.
Are we saying 4, though? Don't say it.
Not until you adopt it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So number 7 is a resolution making seeker determination in regard to local law number 4, amending Chapter 156 of the Town Code of the Town of Carmel entitled Zoning. Councilwoman McDonough, could you read that?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby determines that local law, it would be number 4, of 2024, amending Chapter 156 of the Carmel Town Code entitled Zoning is a Type 2 action under seeker pursuant to 6 NYCRR Section 617.5C, and no further review is necessary. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Could we get a roll call?
Councilman Kearns?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Cazzari?
Yes. Can I get a motion to enact a proposed local law establishing a 6
So moved.
moratorium prohibiting the review and approval of applications and permits for battery energy storage systems in the Town of Carmel?
So moved.
Can we roll call vote on that, please?
Councilman
Clerk?
Kearns?
You got a second,
I
right?
seconded. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, she got the second.
Yeah, we got 2 seconds.
Oh.
Yep.
Yes, yes, from Councilman Kearns.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Cazzari?
Yes. Okay, resolution number... Resolution number 8 is a resolution making secret determination in regard to local law number 5, amending Chapter 156 of the Town of Carmel, of the Town Code of the Town of Carmel entitled Zoning. Councilman Kearns, could you read that, seeker?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby determines that local law, which will be number 5 of 2024, amending Chapter 156 of the Carmel Town Code entitled Zoning, is a Type 2 action under seeker pursuant to 6 NYCRR Section 617.5C, and no further review is necessary. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
seconded by Councilman McDonough. Can we get a roll call?
Councilman Kearns?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Cazzari?
Yes. Can someone make a motion enacting the proposed local law establishing
So moved.
a 6-month moratorium prohibiting the review and approval of applications for permits for solar energy systems in the town of Carmel?
Second.
Seconded by McDonough. And a roll call, please.
There was a first and a second. For
Oh,
the,
6-month moratorium on solar systems. Okay, and now we're going to vote.
The one before was for the battery.
Councilman Kearns?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
yes.
Supervisor Cazzari?
Yes.
Would be required after 6 months?
Please don't yell from the audience.
Something was just passed.
I'm sorry, don't disrupt the meeting.
You'll have time during public comment to come up and ask your questions.
Don't disrupt the meeting or I'll ask you to leave. And no, not for Somers residents. Number 9 is a resolution, amending a resolution authorizing the award of a bid. Councilman Lombardi, could you read that?
Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Carmel had previously authorized the advertisement for bid for Airport Park Playground installation within the Town of Carmel Contract C-292, and whereas on March 6, 2024, the Town Board, by resolution, did award such bid for said contract C-292 to Pepito Construction, Carmel, New York, and now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby amends the prior award of the reference bid contract C-292 to Pepito Construction, Carmel, at a cost not to exceed $279,350, and be it further resolved that upon review of bond and certificates and of insurance in form acceptable to town attorney, Town Supervisor Michael Cazzari is hereby authorized to sign all documents necessary to commence performed of contract work. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay.
Can we get a roll call, please?
Councilman Kearns?
Yes.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Supervisor Cazzari?
Yes. So can I get a motion to adjourn the voting meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much, Alice.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Yeah.
Kevin, you're a jack of all trades, man.
Can I get a motion to open the work session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So Alan Cassay from PKF O'Connor's Davies is here to do a presentation on the town of Carmel's financial situation.
Thank you Supervisor Cazzari and members of the town board.
I don't know.
Okay. So we're going to go over the results of the audit for the year ended December 31st, 2023. Okay, this is part of the agenda. We're going to discuss the general fund balance. We'll do a look back. The general fund budget to actual summary, general fund budget to actual revenues, expenditures, the other funds within the town, and some closing points.
This one.
This is part of the independent auditor's report, and in it says that we completed the audit for 2023 of the financial statements of the town of Carmel in accordance with auditing standards generally accepted in the United States of America. If you look at the audit scope, our approach was directed at the evaluation of significant aspects of the town's operation to reduce audit risks to an acceptable level. Our primary focus was not on individual transaction, but the financial statements taken as a whole. We issued what's known as an unmodified opinion, also known as a clean opinion. It's the best opinion you could receive. This is a 3-year look back of the general fund balance. The first column to your left is the increase from 2022 to 2023, and then you have the 4 years, 2020, 21, 22, and 23. Included in your fund balance are various categories that we call buckets. For example, the first one is non-spendable, and that includes prepaid expenditures, monies you expended prior to December 31st, 2023 for expenditures that will occur in 2024. So that money is not spendable. You have restricted fund balance. You have $260,000 for retirement and $170,000 for employee benefit accrued liability. You've also taken some of your fund balance and committed it to future activities. One is future budgets, capital projects of $3,250,000, vehicle purchases of $150,000, and improvements of $1,000,001. You have your assigned fund balance, and the second number up from the bottom, the $560,000, is what you're using from the 2023 fund balance to balance the 24 budget. Okay, so you took $560,000 out of your fund balance, applied it to the 2024 budget as a revenue source. Okay? So your total fund, but the next one down is the unassigned fund balance, $2,993,000, and that represents about 13% of your 2024 appropriations, which is right where the state controller likes you to be. Okay? Okay, this is the general fund budget to actual summary. On the left column, you have the original budget, the final budget, the actual results, and then the variance with the final budget. The original budget for the revenues were almost $22 million. The final budget was approximately the same, and the actual came in at $22,128,000, which had a negative variance of $185,000. On the expenditure side, the original budget was $21.8 million. Increased slightly to $23.6 million, and the actual came in at $21.5 million, and that generated a positive budgetary variance of almost $2.1 million. Okay? So your excess deficiency for the actual is almost $600,000. You have total other financing sources and uses, and the financing sources and uses include transfers to the highway fund of $200,000, the capital projects fund, the debt service fund to pay off the existing bonds, and the debt service fund transfer out decreased this year by $265,000. Okay? So if you look at the line that says net change in fund balance, that bracketed $626,000, that includes the prior year's, subsequent year's expenditures that you basically appropriated from 2022 to balance the 23 budget, okay? So the net change in fund balance for the actual was a shortfall of $469,000, and if you add that to the existing fund balance at the beginning of the year, the $12,774,000, you ended the year with a total fund balance of $12,305,000. This is the budget for the general fund revenues. Again, we went over the totals. I'll just point out some of the significant variances. The fifth line down, it says use of money and property. That's the interest income. You had a positive variance of almost $330,000, which is very good. The interest you're earning on the tiered accounts that you have is working out very well for you, okay? The license and permits had a shortfall versus the final budget of $61,000, and that was mostly in building and zoning sanitation fees. And the state aid had a shortfall of $556,000, and that was mostly due to mortgage tax. Okay? Any questions? No? Now you're looking at the general fund expenditure budget. Again, we saw what the totals were, and you mentioned that the positive variance was $2,048,000. Contributing to that was general government support, which basically was made up of the central data processing function for $230,000, and you put money into contingency every year, and any unspent contingency automatically goes to fund balance. And this year, that amount was $430,000. Okay? You had a saving in public safety, and that was in the police department, and a positive variance in the culture and rec, and that was from positive of $641,000 from the parks. Okay? So overall, on your expenditure side, you had a positive variance of $2,048,000. Adding in the revenue shortfall, your total positive budgetary variance was $1,862,000. Okay. This is a summary of the other funds that are located within the financial statement. If you look across the bottom, you'll see that they all have positive fund balances, except for the Capital Projects Fund, which has a deficit of $9,783,000. But at the end of 2023, you had $14.8 million of bands, short-term bonds, known as bond anticipation notes. Those are recorded when you pay them off. Every year you make a payment on your existing bands, and that gets recorded as a revenue in the Capital Projects Fund. So this short deficit of $9,793,000 will be eliminated when those bands are paid off. Okay? And all the other funds had positive fund balances. And on the bottom of the page, you can see the components of the special districts fund balance, the water district, $2.5 million, the lighting district, $300,000, the sewer district's $2.5 million, the parks, almost $700,000, fire is $9 million, ambulance is $1 million, and the garbage is $369,000. Okay, just to summarize, we issued an unmodified opinion, the best opinion you could receive. And also, you also have a copy of this book, which I wasn't going to go through, it's far too voluminous, which is known as an annual comprehensive financial report. And in order to receive the certificate, which is on Roman numeral page 13, I believe, you have to compile probably 60 pages of statistics for 10 years. And Mary Ann and her department has been doing that. I don't know if it's been 23 years, but she's been doing it as long as I've been here. And you've received the certificate for, does it say 32 consecutive years. So that's something to be proud of.
Thank you, Mary Ann and your team.
Yes, thank you, Alan.
Mary Ann and her finance department does it.
Alan, one of the things that I actually wanted to point out, I don't know if people had heard what you had said, was that we had a decrease. This is the 2023 budget, right? So the town has a AA1 bond rating, which is phenomenal. But just interesting to note, when we do our budgets, we had to deal with the fact that, and it's listed on page 6, state aid to the town of Carmel decreased by $754,000. When I'm talking about state aid, that's our tax dollars not coming back to us in various means and methods. And because of and I've told this to people before, the only income that the town has is property taxes and mortgage tax revenue. We don't get sales tax revenue as a town. So people spend lots of money in the stores here, it goes to the county, it doesn't come back to the town as sales tax revenue. So we have to kind of guesstimate, and we've done well over the years, except for that year, we had a decrease in mortgage tax revenue of $595,000. And we try to be very conservative with our estimate of the revenues come in based upon projections and what Mary Ann goes over with us and whatnot. So just think about it, it's $1.3 million, a decrease, and the mortgage tax revenue decreased because of interest rates going up, house values increasing as well, but mostly interest rates going up, so therefore there was a decrease in sales of homes, therefore people weren't getting mortgages, therefore we weren't getting mortgage tax revenue from it. So to maintain the AA1 rating for Moody's with a $1.5 million decrease in outside revenues to the town I think is a big accomplishment.
It is. Good job. And you're not the only one. Every municipality has had a shortfall in mortgage tax. I came from another town meeting last night in Westchester County, very similar situation. As you said, the rise in the interest rates, the lack of the available properties, and it's just a combination of that. So that's why you began by saying that you budgeted your revenues conservatively, which is what I've always recommended because of the issues like this, the state aid and any other revenue source that you basically can't control, aside from the property taxes.
Right.
Not every municipality has Mary Ann, though, so we're very lucky to have her.
You're very lucky to have her.
I think we're the only ones.
We're the only ones, thank God.
If you come up with a clone, let me know.
Thank you very much, Alan, for
Thank you.
coming.
You're welcome.
So the second item is our town engineer, Richard J. Franzetti. We're going to acknowledge performance of emergency repairs.
Good evening, Board. So a memorandum is presented to the Board to advise of expenditures of emergency invoices with authorization to proceed in excess of $10,000. Carmel Water District 1, water main break on Clark Place. On May 28th, B&J, the operators of Water District 1, notified the engineering department of a water break on Clark Place. It was determined that a saddle had failed as an invoice for Cook Excavating in the amount of $11,541.22 to blacktop the road and install a curb box at Clark Place. There are insufficient funds in the operating budget, and a budget transfer will be needed. Carmel Water District 2 water main break on Wyndham Lane on June 25th. Infomart, the operators of Water District 2, notified the department of a water leak at Wyndham Place. It was determined that 3 saddles had failed. Attached is an invoice from Cook Excavating in the amount of $14,945.60 to make the repair and to blacktop the road. There are sufficient funds in the operating budget for this expense.
Thanks. Any questions on that?
All right. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you, Rich. Okay, the third item is consider request for the senior rental agreement with the firehouse. No, nobody's here. No. So you have a copy. Did you get a copy too?
Of what? The contract? It's underneath it's underneath it, Susie. It's right behind it.
I'm making sure everybody has it.
Just move on. Yeah, just move on.
So the seniors have been using the Mahopac Fire Department for their meetings, I don't know how many years, all the way back to when St. John's, so my little one is 21, it's got to be 15, 16 years. They used to be in St. John's in the downstairs before they started the daycare there, and they moved to the firehouse. The fire department had moved everyone out, no more rentals for a while because they had some construction and some insurance issues. So they proposed a new drop-in program rental agreement. The fire department is looking for $260. And what's is not reduced, it's 250, and then next year it's not reducing, it's 250 going forward, and then next year 260, and the year after 270, 280, 290.
And it's a $500 security deposit each time, or is that a monthly deposit?
No, I think that would be a one-time
Just one.
security deposit.
They meet
I
once
think
a
it-
week, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's $1,000 a month that they're expecting
Yes.
our seniors to pay to rent out firehouse?
Well, we're,
Our seniors don't pay it.
we're
We
paying
pay
it.
it.
We pay it, the town,
We're
through
paying it.
recreation, yeah. But I think it is discounted, because it says the renter, the sum of $250 per the discounted rate. So I don't know what the normal rate is. We should ask that, we should find out that. I don't see where it has normal rate.
And that's just for this year, it goes up to
Yeah.
290, 229.
Yep.
Every year it's gonna go up.
Yeah, so let's just find out from them what the normal rate is.
Yep, for next meeting. All right. So the fourth item is, we have two requests for stop signs, 4 and 5. So Wixon Pond Road and Bucks Hollow Road. The Highway Department Superintendent weighed in. He was in favor of the recommendations from the Police Department. They did a traffic study, and the Police Department believes that on Wixon Pond Road, eastbound Wixon Pond at Elm and westbound Wixon Pond at Cook would be a good idea because of the limited sight distance. And on Bucks Hollow Road at Bloomer, there's limited sight distance in both directions, so east and westbound. The Chief Hoffman recommends we do a stop sign. So if we can get a public hearing, we would do one public hearing, right? We'll do one public hearing just for 146 of the Town Code Vehicle and Traffic. Yeah, so we'll vote next week on the 17th and to set the public hearing, and we can do it on the 7th, or that's too close?
Can you do that on August 7th? Next week's the 17th?
Yeah. We could do it? All right.
And I'm not going to do it.
Yeah. You keep telling me that.
Don't you forget.
I forget a lot of things. Okay, so everybody's in favor of doing the public hearing? We'll ask Greg to do a resolution for that?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, so Wednesday, the 17th, the town board will be having a public hearing, just to remind people, about the draft amended comprehensive plan that is proposed for the town of Carmel. And that's the first
That's
of
the
two, because you have
first
to
of
do
two, yeah.
two for master plan.
Yeah, so just so everybody understands, it's not the zoning part of it. There's two parts. There's a comprehensive plan, which you need two public hearings, so the first one is next week, and then we're going to have an additional second one for the comprehensive plan, and at that one, we will also have the zoning. So there'll be two total.
Two public hearings.
Yes. The second one, I don't have the zoning date. I was hoping the August, but I know you're going to be away, and I believe Mike Carnaz is going to be away, and we do need them. So I'm hoping the first or second meeting in September, if Carnaz and Bonnie and everyone will be here, and Craig Paper, I want it here as well.
So any other town board members have comments.
Just quickly, I want to welcome Father
pardon.
Simon to St. John's the Evangelist Parish as our new pastor. His installation is this coming Saturday. I've known Father Simon for many years. He's only coming from right down the block in St. James, so he knows the area, the town well. And we wish him all the luck in the world and whatever we can do to make his job easier. I called him and spoke to him yesterday and extended our congratulations to him. So next time you're there, go say hello to Father Simon.
The only thing I want to say, on the 4th of July, it was really neat. Like, our town is absolutely incredible. They had the boat parade, which I'm sure you'll talk about, starting at the VFW, and there was probably close to 60 boats.
78 boats total.
78, decked out in red, white, and blue, and the patriotic music going, and we just toured the entire lake, which was really, really wonderful. So I just want to thank you, everybody who put that together. I believe it started with the VFW, which you can talk
Yeah.
about. But, it's this town does so many great, incredible things, and I just wish everybody could have been on it. But I know they have it every year, so look forward to next year.
Yeah, I don't have.
You can.
I have nothing really. Just like Susie said, the boat parade was a huge success this year. Last year we only had 31 boats, so we more than doubled our participation this year. It's an annual tradition that we have at the VFW. It's usually led by our commander at that time. Unfortunately, due to some circumstances, we had a change in command, and he led the boat parade for the first time, and huge turnout. And again, our community is so patriotic, and they support our veterans. And again, thank you all. That's really it.
All right, so.
Oh, one last thing. Sorry, I forgot. July 20th, I am having a fishing clinic at Sycamore Park. There will be 2 time slots, 8 to 10, 10 to 12. It is all filled up. We only were able to open it up for 50 participants. All 50 participants will receive a fishing pole, a tackle box, tackle. We'll have members from the Putnam County Federation there to help teach the students how to tie a knot, bait a hook, cast, and they'll have the opportunity to actually fish. Even though we are currently filled, we are posting an email address online. You can still email us, and we will put you on an alternate list. Next year, we look to expand the event further. We capped it at 50 this year because it was the first time we've ever done it. We weren't sure what the turnout was going to be, and it filled up in a matter of a day and a half. So it was a huge success. So if you're still in the area, you want to come by July 20th, please come by. You can still participate. We just are currently capped at the moment.
I know my little guy he got into the second one, but I need you to teach my son how to take the fish off the
fish,
hook.
yeah.
So my grandson can catch them, but nobody can take them off. So
Yeah, we'll have guys
yeah.
there to help them out, and girls there to help them out, so it'll be a good time.
And it's very cute.
Your clock went out.
That's it for me.
Clock went to sleep.
You had your 5 minutes.
Yeah, your 5 minutes is up. So, public comment, please keep it to 5 minutes. Residents, business owners, have at it. Just tell us your name, where you live.
Mike McBride, close by. I'm retired state DOT professional engineer. I used to be in charge of Northern Westchester for my last 16 years of 31 years with the state DOT. I downloaded this earlier today. I've been looking for this for a while. A lot of people have approached me over this project and stuff. And the thing is, I'm a little bit confused. I'm a professional engineer. I am not a lawyer. I am a little bit confused by the statement, the moratorium goes in, and what was just voted on a little while ago was that it's passing something so that the Section 10 under CEQA, which is State Environmental Quality Review Act, which is required on almost any and all projects all the time. And I used to write final environmental impact statements, et cetera, et cetera. Letitia James' office, from a November 14th, 2023 letter to the chairman, Town of Carmel Planning Board, recommends that the environmental impact process, the CEQA process, be followed. Attached to Letitia James and in her office, there's what's called a Watershed Inspector General. And according to the Watershed Inspector General, he's concerned that there's substances, hazardous substances, and fire and explosion risk that could impact the New York City drinking water. New York City DEP on October 23rd, 2023, recommends to the Carmel Planning Board that an EIS, Environmental Impact Statement, be prepared. Letitia James supports the recommendation by this letter to the Planning Board. Anything greater than 10 acres, there is a presumption that the project is likely to have an adverse significant impact. This 116 megawatt proposed battery energy storage system is 19 times larger than the Warwick 6 megawatt system that burned for 5 days 2 years ago. This project is many times larger than a public notice project, which is only 7.5 megawatts for JFK Airport, $78 million. New York City is building these type projects all over the city, but they're 5 megawatt, not 116 megawatt. I've been trained by Con Ed as a state DOT engineer. I've been trained by Con Ed on the High Voltage Proximity Act. I have not been trained on the fire suppression, but I've watched the Con Ed official videos, and I am concerned. I want to just make sure that the State Environmental Quality Review Act policy or procedures are followed in this, and I'm a little bit confused by what was just passed earlier, that the local constitutes the type 2, and I'm skipping to the last sentence. As such, this project is not subject to review under the State Environmental Quality Act.
The moratorium, we did a seeker on the moratorium.
Okay.
Not the battery
project
storage.
itself.
So what you're saying, the other stuff you're saying, I agree.
Yes.
You're right, and that's what, it's going to be a year or two for this study if this was allowed to go forward. That
Okay.
study has to be done. But what you're talking about, what doing this state environmental quality review is only the piece of paper for that piece of paper, not the battery storage system. You're getting
So
confused.
the seeker review that we did tonight, qualified it as a type 2, is just with regard to the passage of that law, which is the moratorium. It's not about the project. It's not about anything like that. It's
All right.
just, it's, so,
It's just administrative
it's,
paperwork.
that letter is addressed to
Okay.
the, so that letter is addressed to the planning board, because it would be up to the planning board, if and when this ever does go forward, the application, to have a seeker review, an environmental impact statement. That's not what we did here tonight. All we did here tonight was pass the 6-month moratorium, which when we passed the law, requires a seeker review of the proposed law. So that's all we did.
Okay, there is a bill before the State Assembly that somebody's name was taken off it. The bill hasn't been pulled, and it applies to transit-oriented development and to BEST facilities also.
That was the state senate.
I didn't mention his name. He spoke at my
I did,
meeting.
Mr. Harcum.
Yes, I know. I know exactly who it is.
We can say his
And-
name.
And the thing is, well, I try to sometimes be non-political, but the thing is, that bill is still out there. And transit-oriented development can allow housing anywhere within half a mile of a TOD. A TOD can be a bus stop. It could be the bus stop over there, okay? This same bill applies to BESS, the Battery Energy Storage Systems. The same bill. Can I reclaim my time?
You don't have much left.
How much more do you have to say?
That's about it, and thank you for
So,
listening.
so we
No,
had
thank you
addressed.
for that information. That is very important, and I don't know that the whole audience knew about what you're saying, that they were going to have to do that much deeper environmental study, but that is true, and that if this was ever to go any further than it did, that would have happened, and New York City would have said no. But We didn't get there.
A project I prohibited officially on the bike trail just south of Stop and Shop that I prohibited officially back in 2003. After I retired, just recently came back up, and with the Somers Town Planning Board and the Somers Town Board, it's successfully being held off now.
Yeah. And we had.
It's the same owner. It's the same owner of the properties.
Thank you. Thank you for coming up.
Thank you.
I want to correct information.
Anyone else?
There's nothing more to say.
Please.
I am Walter Verdick. I live on Juniper Trail here in Mahopac. I've lived here about 20 some odd years of my life. What I'm inquiring about is the short-term rentals. I live in a nightmare situation. I'm on a private road that I own the road. I own 2 of the houses of 3 that are on the property, on the street. The house was purchased about a year ago by somebody from out of town who lives in Long Island, who said that they were going to use the house for their summer use. Approximately a year ago, August 23rd, I was swatted. I don't know if anyone knows what swatting means, but that's when what happened is there were 3 trucks from North Carolina. They had rented the house out. There were 3 trucks from they were blocking my driveway. My other house that I own is my daughter's home, and her boyfriend came out with a flashlight telling him to move the truck because I just got in from work late. He proceeded to go, not my daughter's boyfriend, the guy who was renting the house went into the house, called the police, and said my daughter's boyfriend had pulled a gun on him, which was not the case at all. He had a flashlight. Within 3 minutes, 2 SWAT trucks pulled up with AK-47s aimed at my head, along with 3 patrol cars, all drawn, guns drawn, aimed at me, asking who's got the gun. Nobody had a gun. There was no gun. That was incident number 1. Within 2 weeks after that, now I am a motorcycle rider. I got nothing against motorcyclists. However, there were a gang of 20 motorcyclists rented the house within 2 weeks. This is all I've been dealing with. Weekend after weekend, there's a different group of people in there. They walk, I don't know if you know Juniper Trail. I'm right on Long Pond. Right next to Sycamore Park. We have kids over in the park there. We have strangers going into that house constantly. They walk onto my property. I stop them, asking them, what are you doing there? Oh, we want to see what the view looks like. I mean, I'm dealing with this constant noisy parties, music, and it's a private road. The people don't live there. Basically, they turned my privacy into a cash cow, and they're getting away with it. So I just want to know what's going to happen here. I mean, I own 3 properties here in Mahopac, and if this continues, I really have no choice but to move. I've been a good citizen here in this town, and I'm not happy with what's going on. And I think it really needs to be controlled. Somebody's got to control this. They list the house as a 4-bedroom house. I know, I've lived there long enough, it's a legal 3-bedroom house. They say I've got the listing here. It sleeps 10 to 12 people. I mean, this is how they're advertising the house. The people don't care about the neighborhood. They just don't care. So that's pretty much all I have to say, other than I hope I have your ears, and I hope that something can be done about this. Otherwise, how can I continue living this way? My daughter is afraid of going out of the house because she doesn't know who's there. I mean, imagine, I don't know if you would like to have a motorcycle gang next door to your house for a weekend, partying it up. Would your kids like going and leaving the house? My daughter wouldn't leave. She's still afraid to go out of the house. She doesn't know who's in that house from weekend to weekend. And for years, the house was fine. People lived there. We lived in harmony. And until these people started doing this, it has become an absolute nightmare. And it's about to happen on the other side of me, which is a Boy Scout, used to be the old girls' Boy Scout camp. And there's shacks over there. They don't have proper I'm in the building, I've been building all my whole life, and I know what's over there. And the electrical is out of code, the plumbing is out of code, the septic systems, they have a hole in the ground, basically. And that's all leaching into the Long Pond. So, I mean, this has got to be, it's getting out of control. They're related, by the way. The person who bought that house, the third house on my street, and the Boy Scout camp, they're related. They had cut a path through my property without asking, without anything, tore down a stone wall to cut through so that they could get through my property. Say, oh, that's our It wasn't. It wasn't their property.
Thank you for bringing that up to the board so they could hear this, and this will be addressed. Thank
I
you very much for
appreciate
coming.
it. And now, you said there's meetings coming up that are addressing this?
The 17th.
Yeah, the 17th, which is next Wednesday, that's the comprehensive plan. So that itself wouldn't address the regulatory laws or of the zoning laws regarding the short-term rentals.
It's the vision.
It's the vision of Carmel. But it's been online, so you may want to read through it.
I've
And
read through the whole thing.
the comprehensive, yeah.
Yes, I have.
And then, and I wrote down your comment here also, so I have it when we get to the zoning part of it. The zoning part of it, we're hoping should be on probably next week for people to view. Again, we don't have the public hearing set yet, but we want, the zoning's lengthy, so we want people to have time to look at it. But that does have a specific area regarding the STRs.
Okay, okay.
Yep, but I wrote down your comment here, so
Because
I'm
I'm
gonna include
basically
that.
living next to a hotel,
Yeah.
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 you know?
we
And
appreciate
it's
it,
not
yeah.
what I came here to retire. I built my house on my property. My daughter lives next door to me. It's my retirement plan.
Yeah.
And
And I-
it's turned into a nightmare.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No. Come right up.
Absolutely. You got 5 minutes.
My name is Phyllis Bruns, and I've lived in Mahopac since I was probably 8 years old, Croton Falls Road. I live near Walter, and I live near a road called Curry Road. And up that road, there is a home that is being rented as an Airbnb. So that home has rights to come down to Long Pond, our association. But the people that are renting the Airbnb, it could be 2 people, it could be 8 people, it could be 10 people, and they all come down to the lake where they truly don't have any rights to do that. And with our insurance coverage, it covers the association members that pay their dues every year and that kind of thing. And I'm just wondering, does a house have to be zoned as an Airbnb? And is that allowed in our area or anywhere in Mahopac?
Yeah, it's going to be addressed, ma'am. In the new zoning, it's going to be addressed.
Okay.
The
So-
short-term rental is what Councilwoman McDonough said. That's what we're calling it in the zoning, short-term rental, the Airbnbs. But
Okay.
that's going to be addressed.
That's good.
It's on our radar.
Wednesday, correct?
Yeah, it's on our radar.
Okay.
So
you know
no,
about
the
it then.
17th is the comprehensive plan. When we schedule the zoning code, which will hopefully be in September, that's when that will be addressed.
Okay.
And again, there'll be ample notice for everybody. Like Councilwoman McDonough said, it'll be on the website, so you'll be able to review those. And if you have questions, you can email the board prior to the meeting.
Okay, I just wanted to, and just, I lived here when there was one school up on the hill. You want me to sing the?
No.
You got 5 minutes, you can sing it if you want.
I have 5 minutes.
But thank you very much for
Thank you.
coming out to the meeting.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. Here we go.
Back, Mike. Okay, I got 2 questions, and I really will be short. You don't even have to bother with that.
All right.
Who owns the water rights in Mahopac?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I don't know. You know, Marco sent something to me the other night, that I guess Bondi sold the water rights, our water rights, to Manhattan for $45 million quite a few years ago.
That's not, that's
I
not.
don't
Why,
know.
he's laughing. I mean, you know,
That's not.
I don't know.
it's,
No.
because my next question would have been, okay, do we need permission from Manhattan, New York, to put these fires out if a fire happens? And by the way, the second house went on the market this afternoon on my street. And they've only been there about a year and a half, 2 years, I think the most. But, you know, since we're talking about the other thing, my water problem still hasn't gone away. It's actually got worse, because it's supposed to be a hump, okay, a little, I don't know what you want to call it, and instead of
A swale?
Right. In other words, the whole street supposed to have like a bump. A curb? A curb, whatever you want to call it. I don't know how you call it. Well, he didn't make a curb. He made it flat. So when it rained last week, I got water, like, I videoed it. It was just pouring from the back. I don't want any more water from Silvergate. Do something.
I'll tell Highway to go look at your complaint. Thank you for coming up.
Okay. I'm done.
Sure.
Louise Kennedy, 5 Emerald Lane. This has nothing to do with best friend. This is about fireworks. The whole week, right, before 4th of July, it was, you know, a lot of fireworks, whatever. We had somebody up by me, I live over by the ridge, and like up on Kings Ridge, I'm guessing where it was, there were fireworks that looked like they should have been on the lake. And I'm sorry, but people shouldn't be doing that. There's houses, and I'm not against fireworks, but I think that the town or the police or somebody needs to take a little bit more control of neighborhoods that have, I'm gonna tell you, if that was my neighbor, I would have been calling the cops. So I would appreciate if you guys would maybe next year do something. I don't know what you can do, but it's a little bit too much, and it went on for the whole week. My daughter's dog was over. He was like this, shaking in the bed. You know, I just don't think it's necessary. That's it.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Russell Argel. I live over at Tulip Road. I just had a quick question about the moratorium. Now, I'm looking here at section 4, and it talks about how the 6-month moratorium has approval for the site planning approvals, the subdivision plats, the building permits, the special use permits, and the variances. What do the variances mean? What do you mean by that?
Sometimes on a property.
I don't know.
Well, I'll enter what generally
A
what a
variance is just
variance
you
is.
get-
A variance is a
Something's not
change.
allowed and you get,
You get permission. You
Now,
get removal from the
now
zone.
does environmental effects go into that?
That's not a
broad?
variance. A variance is something that's not allowed or closed.
Like if you had a shed
I
and,
was
you-
just gonna
and
say
if
that.
you had a shed and it had to be 20 feet from your neighbor's property,
Right, okay.
but you want to put it 10 feet, you would need to get a 10-foot variance.
So my additional question is, like, there's no there's no talk about an environmental effect from that fourth section. I know they talked about the last
But
section.
this,
section
again,
That's
this
not
is
the
just for the
moratorium.
I'm not talking
moratorium.
about that
This
part
is
either.
just the moratorium.
So the moratorium is a 6-month review process of those, of the variances, the site permits. What is it? I'm just a little confused.
We're not reviewing anything. We can't really talk about it. A moratorium is, I can't really say too much. A
Moratorium is on
You-
legislation on whether or not you want to allow
admin-
something or not allow it.
Right.
It's a pause on
So
the
it's a pause, yes.
Yeah, while we study the effects and study what's going to
So upon those effects, is environmental effects part of that
Sure.
whole thing?
With everything.
Yep.
Pretty much everything that they do in front of the town has
It's like a full
that.
review.
Now,
Yeah.
is there anything that we could do, because me and my wife are both scientists, is there any way we could create some type of research on our end, on the town's end, rather than what the board's end?
No, we have what we.
We have a ton.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to submit something, everyone in the community has been submitting things. You're more than welcome to submit it to the planning board,
No, to us.
to
right?
us, and, to us, yeah.
Do you have a specific, like, email I can send it to, or?
Yeah, just go to the website and you could send something to us.
Yeah,
All right, thank you.
yeah.
Thank
All
you for
right,
coming
thank
out.
you.
Okay, we have contract and technology and grant services to discuss an executive session. Can I get a motion to go to executive session? All in favor? Good night, we'll see you next Wednesday.